Hey everybody out there in the internet world, and welcome to another Dark Avengers comic book review. This review is officially, after today, 3 weeks late. The comic books from this week were officially shipped today. The comic books from last week I still have to review, and these are the comic books from the last week of May 30th, 2012. It's a very short week. It was the 5th week of the month of May, so you guys know no new issues from DC's New 52, just a couple of annuals and Batman Unlimited. I got this with last week's a bunch. I'm just going to go over really quickly. Mind Management, issue 1. It was mentioned during Comic Talk. I remember Scott mentioned it, and I said I was going to get the first issue to check it out. Interesting book, very interesting book. I won't be coming back for issue 2 though. It just didn't interest me enough to keep me hooked. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's from Dark Horse. Maybe somebody else will enjoy it. I personally didn't. If you want to know why this review is 2 weeks to 3 weeks late, go check out the video I just posted right before this, which is my latest Avenger log on stuff that's been going on and a few other things that are pretty important that you guys might want to check out about. But this was a short week. Star Wars Blood Ties, Boba Fett is Dead, issue 2. Well, for those of you out there who saw my review of the first issue of Star Wars Blood Ties, and I said Boba Fett, the whole series started off with Boba Fett dead. He ain't dead. And this book was brilliantly drawn. I love the artwork in this book. I'm enjoying it emphatically. In this book, it explains how Boba Fett faked his death. There's some nice artwork. It turns out the guy that we all thought died at the end of the last book in that huge explosion didn't die. He was brought back, but with a robotic arm. Boba Fett is out to find out who put a hit out on him and why. And the other guy has to just basically lay low, and he's looking for this other bounty hunter called Sitis Vel, and he meets her at the end of the book, and it's to be continued. Really good. I'm really enjoying this book. It's a 5-part. This is part 2. There's 3 left to go, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely going to be sticking around and holding on to this all the way through. I would highly recommend this for those of you Star Wars fans, and if you're not a Star Wars fan and you're a Boba Fett fan or what have you, it's a really good book and it's drawn really well. The New DeadWardians issue 3 is my last issue. I've officially had it with the New DeadWardians. I'm sorry, it's not my type of book, number 1. Number 2, money is short, so cuts, like drastic cuts, need to be made. And this is definitely going to be it. I just didn't enjoy it. Yeah. Another book, unfortunately, that's going to get cut, but I'm enjoying it, is Sonic the Hedgehog issue 237. You'll be seeing Sonic again, guys, in September, maybe October, when money gets a little bit easier. This was a really good book, though. If you're a Sonic fan, you'll be checking it out. If not, you won't. Thank God it's over. Road Rage Duel Part 2, issue 4 of Road Rage. Joe Hill and Stephen King wrote the first part, and Matthew, I can't see his last name, Mike's scanning, okay, done. Richard Matheson wrote the second, and to be honest, I really enjoyed the first story, did not enjoy the second story at all. But of course, for completionists, you're going to get the last 2 issues. I really enjoyed the first story. The second story just didn't do it. This is the last issue of Road Rage. If you have to pick one, I emphatically enjoyed the first 2 issues of Road Rage, where it was Stephen King and Joe Hill's run. That story arc was awesome. This one just didn't do it for me. It just didn't work for me. But for those of you completionists, you'll be getting it. This book did not come out the week of the 30th. However, I bought it to support the Hero Initiative, and it's an IDW book. It's Hero Comics 2012. This supports the Hero Initiative, which is a fund that's going around. It has bunches and bunches of stories in it. I'll read you off what's in this book. This is the I believe, I forgot what cover this was, but this book basically has Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ready, Set, Go. It's a rare story written by Kevin Eastman. Heroes in Action, Angels. 4 fine days during the zombie robot war. Heroes in action, bottle of wine. What the hero initiative is at the back of the book. The Red Star, another Al-Isan. Even a hero needs a hero. Elephant Man, Ebony Dreams, and One More Time. And as you guys can see, here's the classic TMNT in black and white. Then you get another little story inside, and it just keeps going with different stories by different artists. And then they give you some cover, like the cover of the sketch and the actual cover. And then the hero, the whole rundown. I would highly recommend you guys buy this. You know, support the artist. Here's what the hero initiative is. I bought it. I like the book. I love the book anyway. I bought it mostly because of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles rare story in this. I loved it. You guys should definitely pick this up. Show your support. Next is Ghostbusters issue 9, Haunted America Part 1. And as of this, the past couple of weeks, Midtown no longer gives people the option on what regular cover you get. They randomly pick it for you. So randomly this one was chosen for me. I don't know why Midtown is doing that. I would like the option to pick what cover I prefer, but obviously Midtown's not doing that right now. I don't know why. I hope they don't do that with TMNT because I want the choice of picking the Kevin Eastman cover. I know that for the micro series that I bought for next week, it's going to be a random pick, and I'm not really happy about that, and I hope Midtown actually changes that. But anyway, they go to Detroit. What's it? Peck sends them on a road trip across the United States. He claims this is publicity, and it also gives them the time to fix up New York City. I hate Walter Peck, something awful. So they're on a road trip. Bless you, Michael.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Pete wants to go home, but they're out and they're about. Also, there's a small page. I noticed the old Ghostbuster logo on here, and it's 2 guys. It looks like they're inventing ways to capture ghosts as well. Maybe they're going to be competition for the Ghostbusters in the future. Who knows? But I know that the names were bolded at first. Anyway, they go to this fort, which Ghost out of nowhere showed up. This ghost, per se. And it's up to the Ghostbusters to catch them. They do. And Winston actually is the one that talks to the head ghost and talks them down. And yeah, and it was a really good first part to the book. I'm looking forward to the next part where they're going to New Orleans. Hopefully Midtown will be nice and give me all the covers that make the one big picture. And there's a backup story about I thought at first it was a copy of the driver from Road Rage, but it's not. It was a really good backup story. It's very short though. It was a very short backup story. It was mostly the main story, and the backup story is going to follow all the way through till the end of Haunted America. I believe Haunted America is going to be 4 or 5 parts, and it's really good for those of you Ghostbusters fans. You're going to love it. Book of the month, again, IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 10, book of the month. Loved it. Shredder is introduced. He figures out that Splinter is Hamada Yoshi reincarnated, and Oroku's, wait, am I saying the right names now? I gotta find out. I'm gonna show you guys artwork anyway. He basically, Shredder tests Splinter's skill out, and Stockman is pissed off about the fact that Splinter was taken away. Krang is pissed off about it. Also, he's like, well, what's going on? It turns out that the doctor, Mr. Allen, was working for Shredder. The reintroduction of April's shop, which her family owns, was reintroduced. The Turtles are trying to figure out where Splinter went. And now I want to make sure about the names. That's what's mostly on my mind. Yes, they figure out here that they're the reincarnation of each other. And Orokosaki basically, it ends with Shredder saying to destroy Splinter. And it's really good. I'm loving it. I'm guessing though that the next part is going to be in the micro series, because the next issue to come out for TMNT is the Splinter part of the micro series. They're doing one for every character. There's supposed to be a Shredder one. There's an April one coming out in, I believe, August. This series is just amazing. It's going so well. Each issue is another pleasant read. This book never disappointed yet. Hasn't disappointed yet. Love it. I highly recommend it for those of you who aren't reading TMNT yet. It's 10 issues. This issue, I believe, goes in Volume 2. Volume 1 is 1 through 5. Volume 2 is 6 to 10. And there's also Volume 1 for the micro series, issues 1 through 4. All the Turtles. Guys, get the trade paperbacks. This was a series that is worth reading. It's not something you want to miss. IDW is just amazing with the TMNT, especially awesome. Big 2, Batman Beyond Unlimited number 4 lives up to its $3.99 price tag. Not only is there a Superman Beyond story in here, not only is there the Batman Beyond story in here, not only is there the Justice League of America Beyond series in here, there is a Justice League story in here. There are 4 stories in this one book. That's right. First story is the, obviously taking point now, is the Justice League Beyond movie. And turns out Terry has to wear an old suit of Bruce's, and it has a cape, so Terry's kind of happy about that. They're going to Apocalypse, and it leaves you up on an awesome cliffhanger. Then here's the origin of Warhawk, Chapter 1. Basically how Hawkgirl and Green Lantern end up having Warhawk, but it gives, basically this is more of a background, but I consider it a Justice League story because it's all Justice League related. And then we have the actual Batman. I want to show one of Terry. Each one has a different artist. Then we have the actual Batman Beyond story. And then in the last, I'd say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pages is all Superman Beyond. And Lex Luthor is trying to plan a way to kill Superman through his daughter. He's giving his daughter a plan that he devised, that there's a meteor storm coming and it's pure kryptonite and it'll destroy Superman and kill him once and for all. The 4 story, it's just worth it. $4, you're paying $1 a story in there, and it's worth every penny. This is the only thing that stays true to the DC universe I'm used to, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm picking up every issue of Batman Beyond Unlimited. It's a really awesome. It's one of the better books from DC because it sticks true to its old DCU, not the newer one. 2 annuals came out this week. Animal Man Annual 1, which explained how the green and the red teamed up before and how the Rot started to come to be. The story is told through the Cat Totem, which is the one that's following Maxine around, and he's explaining how the first ever time the red and the green had to work together to fight against the Rot, how it used to all be even, but then the Rot got greedy and started wanting to take over the world. And you see the very, I don't know if it's the very first, but you see one of the earlier Animal Men as well as an earlier Swamp Thing, and you get their origins and their full story in this issue, and it was really good. And it ended on a good note for the past, and now we're in the present, and the war begins in Animal Man 10. The artwork in this book, as always, is just awesome. It sticks to a little bit of Swamp Thing, a little bit of Animal Man, but it explains the crossover that will be happening as of Animal Man and Swamp Thing issue 12. So it's pumping us up for the actual crossover, and it's going to be good. I just know it's going to be good. Batman, Night of the Owls, Batman Annual #1. It takes place during the Night of the Owls, like right after or like, I don't even know if it's right after or before, but it's the origin of Mr. Freeze up to present day. Mr. Freeze has a vendetta against Bruce Wayne. One of the big changes in this New 52 is Mr. Freeze isn't... It turns out that the woman he's trying to bring back to life, who's frozen... I forgot her name. Why can't I remember? Nora. It turns out in the new DCU, Nora, spoiler here, 3, 2, 1, isn't Mr. Freeze's wife after all. He just fell in love with her while she was in the cryo tube, and Freeze kind of built up a fantasy where it's his wife, but it's not. It really isn't. And you see flashbacks from the past on how Mr. Freeze became Mr. Freeze. Nightwing and Robin also guest star in the book. And in the end, it's Mr. Freeze versus Batman, and we all know how that goes. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It's a little break from the Night of the Owls, but basically it's a retelling of the origin of Mr. Freeze right here for you guys. So, up to you. Going into Marvel now. 2 books that I did not really too much enjoy. First was Hulk Smash Avengers issue 505. Main view is the main attraction here is the Red Hulk, which is the present day Hulk, like it was the present day a year ago. It was an okay story. The artwork is from like 2 or 3 years ago. It explained the story with the Red Hulk and the Avengers that I have no idea about because I wasn't reading at the time the story. So yeah, I'm trying to find some decent artwork here. And how Bruce Banner isn't the Hulk at this time because Red Hulk had taken away Bruce Banner's ability to turn into the Hulk. And yeah. And at the time, nobody knew who the Red Hulk was. And Bruce Banner still had the Hulk inside of him, but yeah. Now that the series is over, do we need it? No. Honestly, I think I was expecting a bit more from this series than I overestimated how the series was instead of underestimating it like I normally do with series like this, because this was obviously just something to promote the Avengers movie. Do you need it? No. When it comes out in trade paperback, it's up to you guys, but to be honest, these were just little stories to fill in gaps in between stories, or beef out or stretch out story arcs. You don't need this series. It really isn't worth the... It was $2.99, so I can't complain that like it was a $3.99 book. But it's a mini series you guys can skip if you want. It's not something that you need. It's just something that they threw in to promote and push the Avengers movie, my opinion. I cannot wait till Dr. Rott's over in Wolverine 307. Thank God the next part is the last. He finally breaks through all the defenses in Wolverine's brain and has Wolverine all crazy and weird in his head, believing things that aren't there. The whole story is kind of just like, oh, I just want it to end. This is one of those stories that you definitely just want to get through and forget ever happened. Let's put it that way. Wolverine's girlfriend also goes to try to help him because she knows that he's trapped there, and it turns out that Wolverine's mind is taken over by one of Dr. Rott's other people, and it ends with the girlfriend and the police, the FBI, right outside Dr. Rott's door. I want to try to find some clean artwork, but there's really nothing much to show. It's all kind of creepy, twisted kind of thing. Some Weapon X moment. I don't know. I just can't wait for this to be over. In 2 reviews it'll be over, and then we go into Sabretooth's origin story. I guess you always have to have 1 weak story. That's basically what this feels like to me, the weak story in Wolverine. 2 left. Wolverine and the X-Men issue 11. starring it's of course crossing over with Avengers vs. X-Men, Red Hulk versus Iceman. Wolverine's team has officially split. The people who want to take Cyclops aside are, but they're staying on Earth. They don't follow Cyclops to the moon. There is a fight between Red Hulk and Iceman. The story between Wolverine and Hulk in the last issue of Avengers vs. X-Men. This story, as I told you guys, all these side comics are just stretching out and adding more content to what we already know. In this story, we see Wolverine and Hulk teaming up. This is like throughout the time we don't see in Avengers vs. X-Men, and where Wolverine finally decided. This was a nice picture of the Phoenix Forest because it was close to Earth. This was the moment where they show Wolverine actually contacting Captain America and telling him where Hope's going. So it kind of explains more of the story between what happened with Wolverine and Hope before they left for the moon, and what finally brought Wolverine to his senses and tell the Avengers where Hope's going. And the last page, well, I think a picture says 1,000 words. Yeah. Next issue says no more Avengers, so next issue is going to be very interesting. Gladiator's on Earth looking for his son. I like Wolverine and the X-Men. I love the artwork in it. The story was awesome as well. Beefed out Avengers vs. X-Men. That's really all I could say. All the books that are tied into Avengers vs. X-Men, at least until September, that's all you're going to be seeing is like added content to the original story. That's exactly what this was. It just threw in some extra content that happened in between the pages of Avengers vs. X-Men. The last book and book of the week. TMNT was book of the month. This is book of this week. Amazing Spider-Man Annual 39. Pete's working with Grady at Horizon Labs, and of course Grady's project or experiment goes wrong, and Pete gets thrown into a world that where he doesn't exist. Pete doesn't exist, Spider-Man doesn't exist, and the world looks great, and Pete's like, oh, maybe it's better I didn't become Spider-Man because Norman Osborn's normal, and J. Jonah Jameson is is president, and Norman Osborn's curing cancer instead of being whatever. But it turns out there's rumbles. He travels back into the past a couple of times. The Avengers guest star also, and they think he's the one causing the trouble. There was a very, whenever Uncle Ben's involved, it's just, yeah, Uncle Ben always has the answers for Pete, and basically he goes back to Horizon Labs after everything and solves the problem. The ending just was the best ending, and it was just amazing. The ending was just a warm ending, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I know Michael wants to review this. He's gonna be reviewing this in the next comic review because he didn't get to review this for his monthly review because I didn't review it for my weekly review. This book was really good, and I would highly recommend you guys check this out. The ending was so warm with Uncle Ben and everything, and it just, wow. It was worth $3.99. I'm sorry. It was just really good. Absolutely book of the week. Book of the week, and TMNT is book of the month. And with that, we finished this comic review. So let's run through these. It was a very short week. Amazing Spider-Man Annual 39. I highly recommend it. Check it out. Wolverine and the X-Men 11, it continues to be the best X-Men book out there, in my opinion, from Cyclops and Wolverine's side. Wolverine 307, I can't wait for the story arc to be over. Hulk Smash Avengers 5 of 5, the entire miniseries is something you don't need. It's up to you guys. Batman Annual 1 gave you a retelling of Mr. Freeze's origin. Up to you. Animal Man Annual number 1 was pretty good. Shows the relationship between Swamp Thing and Animal Man from the past. Batman Beyond Unlimited, you get every single cent worth of your money. $4, 4 stories. I know DC said they're drawing the line at $2.99, but this book has like 4 stories in it. It's worth it actually lives up to why it's $3.99. You can understand why. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 10 was awesome. Best book of the month. Highly recommend you check this out. It was really awesome. Ghostbusters issue 9 was another good story. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, you'll be checking it out. show support for the Hero Initiative and go out and buy Hero Comics 2012. Good stories in it. Road Rage Duel Part 2, Issue 4. I didn't like the second story. I leave that up to you guys. Sonic the Hedgehog 237. If you like Sonic, you'll be picking it up. If not, you won't. The new DeadWardians Issue 3 is the last issue for me. Just did not hold me at all. I gave it 2 shots, and both shots it killed. Star Wars Blood Ties Boba Fett is Dead Issue 2. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Mind Management Issue 1, I'm just not interested. I tried. It just didn't interest me. It was very nice and very interesting internal work, but by the end of the issue, I was like, I'm not gonna pick up issue 2, especially with the cuts that I need to make, at least until the towards the middle or end of the summer. So this weekend will be last week's comic books. This was the week of the 30th, May 30th, 2012. We'll be doing the first week of June, probably this weekend, along with the second week of June. The comics that came out today, this weekend. If you like this video, give it a favorite. Show YouTube you liked it. There's a subscribe button above this video. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to Dark Avenger C86, this channel, as well as Dark Avenger Inc. Huge things coming for both channels. Comments, I love them. Whether you liked a comic, whether you hated a comic, questions, feel free. I love answering comments below. If you're a troll, your comment will be deleted and forgotten a second after that. But yes, I love comments. Whether you like something, tell me. If you hated something, if you disagreed with one of my opinions or agree with one of my opinions, let me know. And as always, questions are always awesome as well. Love comments. You know, show YouTube you like the video with the favorite, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I repeated myself twice. I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys really soon for another Dark Avenger comic book review. Take care, keep reading, and keep collecting. See you guys soon.